Okay, this section we're going to take a look at in the course description of political approaches or political participation. We're going to begin by looking at the movimiento, the Chicana civil rights movement in the 1960s and 1970s. In this, we're going to look at issues like cultural nationalism, this type of cultural affirmation that shows that this was more than a civil rights movement. This was a movement to affirm Chicano and Chicana culture and history. We're also going to take a look at the way feminist thought, or much of early Chicana feminist thought, arose out of the civil rights movement. And then we're going to look at the idea of the connection between a political movement and cultural affirmation. In addition, we're going to look at three different political approaches that I've written about. The first will be Hispanic politics, which I define as accommodation in hopes of assimilation. What I mean is that Hispanic politics and identity are this type of approach that by accommodating U.S. society, they hope to assimilate into U.S. society. Next will be Chicano politics, which I call a politics that is reclamation in hopes of restoration. Beginning in the 1950s and 1960s, Chicanos began to identify and move into this reclamation of their indigenous past, especially the Aztecas of central Mexico. But they did this in hopes of restoring themselves to the top of the patriarchal pyramid. It's important to remember that racism is more than discrimination based on skin color and ancestry. For Chicanos, it has often been an emasculation process, inhibiting Chicanos from being able to obtain those positive attributes we assign to the good man, the good father, the breadwinner, and so forth. So their politics, again, is a type of politics that goes to reclaim the indigenous past in hopes of restoring themselves to the top of the patriarchal pyramid. Finally, we'll look at Chicana politics, that I define as reclamation in hopes of transformation. Similar to Chicanos, many Chicanas have tried to reclaim their indigenous past, but rather to do it in hopes of restoring themselves to have control or power over another group. They do it in hopes of transforming the very definition and use of control and power to create a more egalitarian society.